And I'm back. Hello, I'm Second Metal. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a good day. Mine is just starting because I just woke up. I'm trying to go back to streaming in the mornings like I used to last year. It was just way much more convenient to do so. But anyways, as I said, I'll be streaming the Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. And here we are. So let me go ahead and get started. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on. Oh. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately this game's got limited controller.
Most people think time is like a river that flows swift and sure in one direction. But I have seen the face of time, and I can tell you, they are wrong. Time is an ocean in a storm. You may wonder who I am and why I say this. Sit down, and I will tell you a tale like none that you have ever heard. Know first, I am the son of Shahram, a mighty king of Persia. On our way to Azad with a small company of men, we passed through India, where the promise of honor and glory tempted my father into a grievous error.
No, my son.
Your Majesty, I trust you'll remember your promise. The Maharaja's treasure vaults lie within.
See how he fights. Like a warrior son.
Do you think I felt regret as I gazed upon the destruction we had wrought? Or at least humility at the speed with which a world can be transformed from a good world into a hell? If you think so, you are mistaken. For in that moment I thought of one thing only. The honor and glory I would bring my father by fighting like a warrior in my first battle.
Right, so as I was saying, this game, unfortunately, on PC anyways, has limited controller compatibility. But it's better than nothing. Also, why am I stutter stepping? What is going on? Prince doesn't want to move around my 360 motion. Oh, I see why. Hold on. I know why. Oh, no way. I have to do all this again? Okay, that's why. Alright, 1 second. I already did all this, but for some reason it's making me do it again. Forward. This is X input. Oh, no way. I might have to restart. Hold on, 1 second. This is embarrassing.
Do you wish me to leave before finishing my story?
Okay, since I didn't have the controller plugged in at the beginning of the playthrough, now it doesn't recognize controller. Alright, 1 second. Let me start it up again, this time in, yeah, X input. Some of these games will allow me to just plug in my gamepad after the game boots up, others won't, and I guess it's just one of them. That was weird though, because when I set to X input, it was going just fine. Alright, let's see. There it is. That's all it was. Let's load. Oops. Too far.
Do you wish me to leave before finishing my story?
Let's start again. Now I should be able to move freely. Yeah, there we go. Analog 360 movement. Skip this.
Do you think I felt regret as I gazed upon the destruction we had wrought? Or at least humility at the speed with which a world can be transformed from a good world into a hell? If you think so, you're mistaken. For in that moment I thought of one thing only. The honor and glory I would bring my father by fighting like a warrior in my first battle.
There we go. Cool. So to give you some context as to what this game, by genre anyways, what it is. No idea why it's going in slow-mo. There we go. Obviously it's a 3D platformer that involves a lot of parkouring, which not many 3D platformers do nowadays. Or even, platforms in general. The only times you see parkour being used in any video games nowadays is if you're playing an open world game, but I digress. So yes, the 3D platformer also involves combat. Combat's not anything amazing as far as like difficulty or...
Many men that day sought to win honor and glory on the battlefield, that their king might say to them, as Khosrow said to Rustam, "You are the noblest of my warriors." From the moment my sword tasted blood, I knew this would not be my way. I would win my father's praise, not by killing, but by being the first to find the Maharaja's treasure vault and the wonders within.
There's also not a whole lot of skill expression as far as combat goes. So, again, it does its job. But again, it's just nothing fancy. Where the game shines is both its presentation, because not many games have this kind of setting, but also the puzzles in the game, right, are where it's at. Because this game features, it's a puzzle platformer that involves parkour, sword fighting, and there's a few collectibles. So the two collectibles in this game water, not water fountains, but they're essentially rooms that have death traps and long corridors. But once you get towards it, there's going to be a special water fountain that permanently increases your health. And the other collectible is sand deposits. And what those do is they increase Prince's sand reservoirs. It essentially increases the number of times the Prince can rewind time, slow down time, and it uses other sand powers, which we'll get to later. That's another special thing about this franchise that separates it from other platforms is the fact that the player can control time by going back through rewinding, slowing down time like this, even though I'm not intentionally trying to do that, and some other abilities that honestly make no sense, but whatever.
Shall I continue my story from here the next time we're interrupted? Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
The way the story is presented is through a narrative format, which is nothing new, but it is a reference to...
And there it lay, just out of reach, the dagger of time. There was a treasure I could carry with pride as a trophy of our victory. If I could only get there.
It's a reference to Arabian folklore. What was it? 1001 Nights? And some of the other stories. And stuff like that. I'm not knowledgeable enough about that kind of stuff to say anything more in that matter. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'll tell you what, this game, I'm hoping that the sequels are not going to be like this. Did take some modding in order to get the game running at this resolution and without having any visual bugs going on. But thankfully it wasn't a really big pain to do so. But it makes me kind of sad, really, because if I were to recommend any of these older games to people without telling them that they had to essentially do a bunch of stuff just to get the game running, they probably either refund the game or just not bother playing it. Don't get me wrong, having these games available for PC is more than what most publishers would do. But at the same time, though, it kind of makes me sad that game preservation is often neglected. There are a lot more titles from Ubisoft that unfortunately just aren't gonna get a PC port ever. You know, no. That's weird. I can't use this water fountain? Hold on. How do I... So the way the game saves, or uses saves... Special attack. Special actions, minus 1, 2. Okay. Oh no, I can't interact with this water fountain. Okay. That's weird. So water fountains are used to as save points. I'm guessing because my health is full, those water fountains don't involve saving. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I'm completely wrong. No, that's in the sequels. Yeah, Warrior Within and the Two Thrones.
I had what I came for. It was time to get out. Now.
Yeah, Warrior Within and the Two Thrones treats water fountains as save points, but in this game, saving is done through special beacons, I'll call them. Whoops. This is a perfect opportunity to showcase the rewind time mechanic. There we go.
Father, I have brought us honor and glory.
Your Majesty, you promised me my choice of the Maharaja's treasures. That dagger.
Surely you won't deny the lad a souvenir of his first battle. You may have your choice of all the Maharaja's other treasures. Except that hourglass. That will make a fine gift for the Sultan of Azad when we pass through his city. And some exotic animals for his menagerie. And a few dozen slave girls. Yes, that should be enough. I want no animals or maidens harmed until I have chosen. Let it be known, King Sharaman is merciful in victory.
Trust not a man who has betrayed his master, nor take him into your own service, lest he betray you too. I learned the truth of this to my sorrow, the day that we arrived in Azad as the Sultan's honored guests.
My friend.
My friend, your visit brings joy and honor to my poor and humble dwelling. If only you'd given me time to prepare a proper welcome.
The glories of Azad are famed throughout the world. And yet, the best is yet to come. I give you the Sands of Time. May the friendship between our kingdoms endure as long as time itself.
The sand, why does it glow?
I can tell you. Inside the hourglass is a marvel that no living man has seen. Alas, only the dagger can unlock the sands of time, and it belongs to a greater one than I. A young prince, dearer to his father than all the wealth of India. Perhaps he will oblige.
No. No! Stop!
Is it meant to do this? Alicia Sigataha!
Give me the dagger.
No.
You have unleashed the sands of time. I can undo what you have done. Give it to me.
Alrighty. Oh, my bad. I am not using a gamepad. So unlike the sequels,
Use the dagger.
yeah, in order to make sure enemies don't respawn or
Strike with the dagger.
get back up after knocking them down,
Now.
you have to use the dagger on them.
Each time I struck them down, they rose to fight again. I soon realized that only by taking them to my own dagger, the sands that possess them, could I liberate them from their monstrous living death.
And don't worry, the combat becomes a lot more interesting. It's not just about flipping over their heads over and over again like this. Eventually that strategy won't work. So essentially, Prince gets visions of...
Done. I'll start the story from here next time. You think me mad. I can see it by the look in your eyes. You think my story is impossible. Perhaps I am mad. Who would not be driven mad by horrors such as I have lived? But I assure you, every word is true.
So those beacons of sand give the Prince visions of the platforming and other actions he has to take in order to progress through the area, which unfortunately is not something that gets brought up again in the sequels. But there are similar mechanics that work in the sequels. No. Don't need any water. Okay. So, if I remember correctly, there is a way to get up here. Hold on. There we go. The first time I played through this game, I kid you not, I got stuck in that area because I did not think that I could just go through that gap. When you play enough games that have invisible walls, never mind, start to think that you can't go to certain areas in other games just because it looks like an invisible wall will be there.
Stop! I won't hurt you!
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that, I had to check something. Alright, go.
The guest rooms, where my father, all our entourage, and I should have passed the night, lay cold and silent. The sands of time had swept through, stealing life and warmth from everything they touched. And I, who unleashed the cataclysm, had been spared. Were there others like me, who yet clung to life, hiding in fear among the ruins? It did not seem so.
So yeah, these sand clouds, sorry, not SoundCloud, SandCloud, are one of the collectibles, and I already explained the other one. Okay, so parkour our way around. So this ring that is this ringing sound anyways coming from the sand cloud, that's the hint that there's one nearby. And earlier I could have sworn I heard that, but even if I did, maybe I just wasn't close enough to the sand cloud in order to collect it. That's alright.
Come back!
Had I really seen her? Or had my senses given way under the burden of horrors too great to bear, and conjured up a phantom? Either way, I could not rest until I had found her again.
Alright, well, I took some damage from falling, so there you have it. I guess this game can be used as a PSA to stay hydrated.
I soon discovered that when I had collected enough sand, the dagger gained the power to stop time. Not for me, but for the enemy I struck.
That's another tactic, is to latch onto a ball in combat and then do like a dive attack like that. That immediately knocks an enemy over. If jumping over their head doesn't work, which later on in the game it won't. Let's see. I gotta go back this way, I think. Never mind. Camera's a bit wonky in this game, but it does get better in the sequels. Guess I just have to go back up. Oops. No, this must be another room. I think. Never mind, it's not.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time. Whence came these visions that assaulted me thus like fever dreams? Each time I awoke feeling drained and beaten, and each time what I had seen came to pass, as if the sands of time were giving me a glimpse into my own future.
I'm debating on whether or not I want to collect, or rather pull up the wiki, so that I can make sure to collect every sand cloud and every life meter upgrade. Oops. The problem with that is, in this game, or in this title I should say, if I ever miss one of those collectibles, there's no way to go back. Has this ever happened to you?
I had experienced by accident in the Maharaja's treasure room, I now discovered that I could trigger at will. By pressing a switch on the dagger's handle, I could turn back time.
Yeah, so this is one of those secret rooms I was talking about with that water upgrade. So the gimmick with these rooms is usually there would be death traps and some other puzzles leading up to the end of the room. Yeah.
Hello? Is anyone there? I have a feeling I'm not in Azad anymore. Water. What just happened? That's strange. I feel wonderful.
Well, you got a taste of that bathwater. That Gamer Girl bathwater. Anyways. But yeah, it's not gonna always be that easy. Especially finding them. That's the hardest part. Well, for me anyways, because I typically don't like trying to find collectibles in games. Because they're usually... It's not getting to them that's the problem. It's the fact that developers will hide them. That's when I get impatient. What's funny though is that I don't think I was the only person that disliked finding collectibles like that, or hidden collectibles anyways. Because later on in the 2010s, especially open world games, like the Batman Arkham series and Assassin's Creed, the developers of said games would just mark where the collectibles are on the map.
Give me the dagger.
Who are you?
I am Farah, the daughter of the Maharaja from whom you stole it. This is your doing,
I saw my father turn to sand.
and we will share his fate if you do not give me the dagger to undo what you have done.
Your traitorous vizier used the same words. From now on, I trust no one but myself. Run! Go back to the reception hall. Wait for me there. Go!
I couldn't tell you why the audio was lagging, but something tells me it might have to do with the frame rate. So, you see,
Now I remembered her. Since we left India, she had been there. In the desert, I had felt her dark eyes upon me. Now, here she was again. She and I, the only two survivors. Did I say two? Excuse me. We were three.
yeah, so back when this game was first released on consoles, the frame rate was 30 FPS. So something tells me that cutscenes are not made to be played at 60 FPS like I got it right now. So I don't think the audio is able to keep up with the visual cutscenes. I'm hoping this won't be a problem throughout the playthrough, but if it is, I mean, there's not really much I can do about it. Except lower the frame rate, but I don't really want to do that.
The hourglass. What? I did not understand the meaning of what I had just seen, but I knew, with a certainty I could not explain, that those winged creatures had a master. The man who had tricked me into opening the hourglass now had his prize, and for some unknown purpose coveted the dagger as well, would stop at nothing to possess it. Well, I would give him what he sought. I would plunge it into his foul and treacherous heart.
I'm afraid of going that way because, I mean, just look at it. And I might not be able to go back. Alright, sorry about that. I don't think there's gonna be any more interruptions for the rest of the stream. Can I just go back? Okay, I can just go back. Alright, I guess there's nothing to worry about then. You know where to go from here. But yeah, I do have to go out anyway. With these sand beetles, I'll call them. You don't have to use the dagger to kill them. Small animal enemies like them can be immediately killed with just using basic sword attacks. This game is cool in that there's no difficulty option like in the future or in the sequel titles, because with the sand powers you can just rewind back in time before you made a mistake and then try whatever it was you were doing again. Oops. You'll be able to make that jump. Yep. That's how I played the original Sonic the Hedgehog game. Essentially, Sega or whoever did the PC ports of those classic games gave some emulator functions for the player to use. Okay, never mind. And that includes the ability to rewind the gameplay as much as you want and as many times as you want. Because those games are not very forgiving. Eventually though, I got good enough to the point where I didn't need to rewind the gameplay as much. I wasn't making as many mistakes. But I just didn't have any patience for the life system and having to redo every single level over again just because I died one too many times at a particular difficult stage or act. In this game though, not only does it have save points, but it also essentially gives the player a bunch of redos. Now you might be wondering, is this game really easy then because of all that? And the answer is no. It's not Dark Souls levels of difficult. And it's not Battletoads level of PS, but... Oops.
It was indeed the dagger of time. I began to realize why the Vizier wanted it so badly.
The combat, you can actually struggle in if you don't fight very well. Because even in combat, I'll show it off. Oh, never mind. Oh wait. Okay, 1 second. So you see that circle that keeps filling itself up below the health meter, directly below the health meter? You need that in order to use the slow down and rewind sand powers. And you can even use rewind and slow down times sand powers in combat. So if you're just really struggling in this game's combat, then you still have some leeway with that. I'll show some other things too. So that crescent-shaped semicircle that's next to the yellow sandbars, that allows you to stab an enemy with the dagger of time itself, and it'll freeze them, and then you can immediately attack them like that to immediately kill them. So you don't always have to keep flipping over their heads and stabbing them once they're down. You can mix it up like that. And of course you have the water fountains. You can always go back to them. Drink an infinite source of water. And so on. So the game's not difficult, even for people who have never played platforms before. But it's definitely... Never mind. I think the best word I can use to describe the difficulty in this game is forgiving.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
The game's just really forgiving. Don't get me wrong though, there are going to be enemy types later on in the game that won't allow me to just use the same strategies to defeat them. And not only that though, but unlike the later titles, this title, when it comes to, there's a parry attack you can do, right? Or there's two types of parry attacks. You can do the sword parry attack, and you can use the dagger parry attack. Now the sword will just deal more damage to the, enemy. But the dagger parry attack will immediately freeze the wait. There we go. Will immediately freeze the enemy if, of course, you got the ability to do so. I think it's here. And should be able to push it here. No, not here. It's one of these bookcases. Gotta be this one, right? No, I think I know what's going on. I think there's supposed to be a hidden room behind one of these bookcases. Yep. I thought I had to climb on top of them, but no, they were just blocking a path. Okay. To be honest though, the most difficult thing in these Ubisoft Prince of Persian titles are the puzzles themselves. And thankfully they're not the kind of puzzles that if you don't solve them correctly, you just don't get to, you just die or something like that. They're the kind of puzzles that essentially if you don't figure them out correctly, you just don't progress through the game. But they're nothing ridiculously difficult. I guess if nothing else, the reason why I like Ubisoft's Prince of Persia titles is that they designed the pacing of these games in a varied manner. So for these puzzle sections, you got
Look at
there we go.
Oh, thank God! I was afraid you were one of them! Can you help me activate the Azad defense system? It'll take both of us to do it! I'll reset the axles for you! The man who's normally in charge of this got... Never mind! Ride the platform down to the bottom, then use those two cranks to bring it back up! You see those 4 axles? You'll need to pick them up one by one until you've got all 4. Then, bring them up to the top together. Make sure you pick them up in the right order.
Alright, thankfully not all the puzzles are going to be like this, where you got someone shouting instructions at you. Alright, I've only got 4 minutes left of this stream. Let's see if I can figure this out in that time. So this crank rotates them.
That's it! One crank turns the platform. The other one raises and lowers it.
Bro, I get it. Oops. Oh, I wanted to go the other way. Alright, hold on. So if I remember correctly... No, they don't pick up with you though. So this right here, this giant relief or depression, whatever it's called, it's supposed to be a guide, right? If I remember correctly, you're supposed to lock in place, then you can just pick them up. Pretty sure it's supposed to do the new moon first. I mean the full moon. Yeah, I got 2 minutes. That's so weird. This puzzle always gets me every single time. Not even supposed to be the most difficult one either. Okay, I got a minute left to figure this out. I'm not understanding. Why aren't these locking in place? I could have sworn they're supposed to move. Yeah, they're supposed to... Wait, am I supposed to step on this? Oh, that's why.
Careful! If you pick the axle first, you'll have problems later!
Yeah, okay.
Remember, pay attention to the grooves!
Bro. Alright, I'm gonna have to end the stream. Alright, yeah, this is gonna have to wait until next stream. Anyways. I'll pick up where I left off here, the last save point anyways, in the next stream. I'm hoping I can do this in the morning regularly again. What I really wanted to do was stream Them's Fine Hurts, but I don't know if anybody plays during the morning. In my time zone anyways. So I'll experiment and find that out tomorrow. And we'll see. If people do play in the morning, then I'll stream myself playing Them's Fine Herds. But if not, then I'll just continue streaming this. But until next time.